Hey Russ,
Hey Mason.
what does Indiana Jones and your smartphone have in common?
What?
Let's find out.
Hey, welcome to the Biz Boyz broadcast. I'm Russ, and by my side, as always, is the milk toast, Mason.
God, you're really reaching at the bottom of the barrel now. Milk toast, what even is that?
I don't know, it's kind of bland,
Oh,
milk toast.
son of a bitch. I'm crispy and milky at the same time. Look at this milky skin.
Alright, well, here on the Biz Boyz broadcast, we share our business experience, inform you about business news that's going on around the world, and entertain you along the way.
Yes, and in this bit of news, we have a bit of a depressing one. I apologize, folks. So hold a puppy while we're doing this video. The American Journal of Psychiatry has reported that people are 30% more depressed than they used to be, and that's because of their lack of inactivity.
Are they telling me that I'm more depressed than I used to be?
Well, they're telling 30% of you is more depressed than you've ever been. So obviously, I'm not saying that everybody is depressed, but an entrepreneur saw this and he really wanted to fix this problem. And that's what I want to focus on for this episode.
It's a good guy.
Yeah, so this is the problem Alex Stanley has set out to solve with Onigo. Dubbed London's first outdoor escape room, Onigo brings people together in their local park, which I think is great. So Onigo has been described as a digital treasure hunt. Users sign up for 60 minutes to have a go, $10 per play, at two type of games. One of them is called Prison Break, and one of them is called Murder Mystery, in 3 locations in London. Think escape room, but outdoors. They show up at the location at the appointed time, and Onigo players concentrate on solving clues about the physical environment and interacting with each other via their smartphone. So they're in a group with each other, and they basically solve the clues on their smartphone.
So it's just the smartphone that makes it digital.
Yes.
Okay.
So but they still go through the park, and the game kind of like introduces new spots about the park and things like that. And it uses the same geofencing technology as Pokemon Go to trace the user's location and unlock keys when they live at certain places in the park.
That's cool.
Yeah, hundreds of people have tried Onigo since the first prototype was created in February 2019, just this year. They are currently looking to prepare for an investment pitch in late September to obtain the first round of funding and be able to grow the product more and expand out to different locations. First, what do you think, Russ? What do you think about this?
I think, we have Pokemon Go, and it's one game inside of this digital platform, and it took them a long time to develop and improve over time and add functionality. So it'd be interesting to know if they only have a couple games, maybe that could work. But I'm afraid if they start developing a lot more games, that all the games will be mediocre. That each game won't go through enough of a development process to actually be fun. It'll be like walk over to this tree, like tap a couple buttons, and then you walk over to another tree. I don't know if they can engage you with a story with just a couple stories.
Well, no, maybe. So the Prison Break and the Murder Mystery kind of have they kind of put you in a universe where you're in the Murder Mystery, you're like tracking the murderer and you're trying to find them.
Sounds great. I hope they can pull it off.
I hope they continue to do that. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about, that's a great product, but it has somewhat, I think, maybe things that we need, that we want the entrepreneurs to think about. Not that they're actually going to watch this video. I see a couple logistics problems and scaling problems with this, and I wanted to point them out and see if we can discuss it as a team, as a group, as a community. One of them is they have to map out every location they expand to. They have to map it out so that the clues go to certain areas. Obviously, the same route from one place doesn't work at another, so they've got to send a ground team to do that kind of surveying. Yeah. And I see that as a big reoccurring work if they want to expand out very quickly, and I think that's what's going to slow them in their expansion. So
on the one hand, when you compare it to an escape room, it doesn't have facilities that it has to manage or anything.
Right.
But yeah, every location is different, so they have to have somebody that maps out that story to that park.
But with an escape room, you just take the room and you put it in a different city, right? There's no mapping or surveying or anything, but with this you do.
Yeah.
So I recommend, maybe as a thing to look into, What if you let your people, the users of the product, submit some routes to you, some stories, some games to you, and you pick maybe once a month a route that you like in a certain place, and you give a percentage of the profits that other people use, or when the other people choose that route, and you give it to the person who designed the route. That way you have community involvement with this product, and you get routes for free without having to actually do the work.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of digital platforms, the platform model is by using the population to make a lot of your content for you, Uber and Airbnb and all that. So you want to make this a platform model, but how well, especially if you do that, how well developed are the stories? I don't exactly know what their user interface looks like. I don't know what kind of inputs you need to make a new story. If it's really involved, and to make a new story, I don't know if users can make their own or not.
I think there's precedence for this. Video games like Mario Maker and Happy Wheels do the same exact thing, and actually even GTA, where the people playing the game make maps, they make game types that I actually think the players, they play each other's games more than the actual developed game itself.
Right.
I'm not. There's no facts behind that, but I think that's the case because I've played more of those user game generated games than the actual developer game.
Yeah. So for them, the important thing wouldn't be making the content; it'd be making an easy way for users to make content.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they don't still make content; they can. It just alleviates some of it, and it gets the users more involved, which I feel like strengthens the relationship more. So that was problem number one: was the scaling factor, more work for more locations. Now, number two, I don't know if this is true. I'd have to actually do the product myself, but because it's in London, I don't feel like flying out there to do that.
You can do a trip.
Well, trip. Biz Boys go London. Woo! You have to schedule an appointment. So you have to schedule an hour block of time, and I believe only one team can do each hour. So essentially, you only have one team going through a location at max every hour. The throughput of that doesn't sound very enticing, especially when you're only paying $10, which is a good price, just not a good throughput.
Yeah.
I recommend maybe to look into have competitive times where maybe from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. you have multiple teams running, maybe at different points, different starting points in the park, and they all have to work to their end, and you time each other. So they're all going through all of the points, but they're starting at different places.
Yeah, indeed.
So I think that's just a way of getting more teams in an hour block to get you more money, which is ultimately what you need to thrive. And then finally, I didn't want to leave it off with just issues. I think this is a great product, and I think it's worth looking into, definitely, and growing. I wanted to mention an opportunity I think I see for growth. I think it needs to lean on more of the social aspect. I think there needs to be more social media involvement. For instance, if you complete a game mode, I think that the app should trigger you to maybe take a picture of your team and post your time on social media. Things like that where it lends itself better, and I think that perfectly works with the purpose of this, is trying to be more social, more active, and less depressed, unfortunately. Like I said, I haven't tried the product, so maybe it already does this, but I think that's a way of expanding. That's pretty much all I had for this video. What are some opportunities that you see for growth in Onigo? Please leave in the comments. We really appreciate it.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Bye.